All right, guys, good morning to all of you. Today's the 29th of May 2025, Crazy Market Talk with Kel at 10 a.m. And before that, a self-disclaimer apply as usual. Please make sure that you do your risk management. And importantly, after that, we will do our second segment. We'll talk about the 28th of May markets, primarily the DAX market. All right, so before we start this morning session, let's just see what is the news that's bringing the Dow Jones going up 500 points at the moment right now. So apparently, the Federal Trade Court strikes down Donald Trump reciprocal tariff. All right. So what is happening is that in short itself, right, the court in US is telling Donald Trump that he is not able to do whatever he's doing, the tariffs. All right, so let's take a look here itself. Apparently, a federal court struck down Donald Trump tariff in a rolling out Wednesday. A three-judge panel on the Court of International Trade says President exceeded any authority granted by the International Emerging Economic Powers Act. This suit was brought on behalf of five US-based businesses that relies on import. So basically itself, five businessmen or entities went up and sued bring up the case to this Court of International Trade and thinks that Donald Trump is going nuts with doing all this at the moment. And this is going to be very interesting right now because that means that the tariff may not be going through. But again, I kind of feel that it won't work lah. Because if really there's I mean this thing already stands, then seriously itself, this will have brought up in the last time. So not too sure unless this is like a new thing, but according to what I'm seeing now, apparently it's a 1977 law. So that means that it was already there, okay, for many, many years. So, okay, I just give a question mark here itself. So it's like a good thing and a bad thing and a bad thing and a good thing. The good thing is they're not allowing the tariff to go through. Right, the tariff doesn't go through, the trade deficit doesn't really, do well for Donald Trump, and that will create some problem. Okay, then if that's the case itself, then should we have the tariff or don't have tariff now? Okay, so because of that, right, become very confusing. Now, of course, no tariff, the world will be happy, right? But knowing Donald Trump, I don't think he will just stand down here. So he'll come out with something different and create more mayhem for the market. So not too sure how I'm going to see this. You can read the article later on. I will put up on the Telegram later, but it's kind of interesting, yeah, to see that this is happening right now at this moment. Okay, so that is part one. Part two is sorry. Okay, the part two is we have the Bank of Korea. They just cut interest rate for the fourth time, right? Cutting interest rate. So they're going to warn later. The credit default swap are back again. So apparently itself, right? The market are getting a bit worried about current situation. So we'll talk about this later. And last thing is that we have a very strong earnings report from Nvidia after market close. Okay, but this was eclipsed by the court ruling. That is the main thing that pushed the market up. All right, so let's talk about this one first, the credit default swap. Okay, let's bring it in. All right. Now, credit default swap, if you remember, is actually like an insurance bank betting and ensuring the company doesn't fall. So the thing is this, the cost of insuring exposure to US debt has been rising. Investors are pricing in the increased concern about the unresolved debt ceiling, several industry watchers, and the search of CDS is a short-lived reaction while traders wait for a new budget deal to raise the debt ceiling. So this is like there, but not really a big concerning apparently to some people. And we saw that yesterday the TLT, as I told you, it had dropped a little bit. So I have mentioned to you, based on what I'm seeing right now, the TLT will still continue to go down. But of course, this may jump a little bit because of this tariff issue that the court is ruling out. Yeah, and you can look at the moment now. Yeah, the ring this here. You can look at the current situation of the dollar index. The dollar index has already crossed the 100 mark. Yesterday was at 99.86. When I told you that this morning, because of the court ruling, it gapped up to 153. So that's why the gold price slammed down. All right. So the gold price slammed down because of that. Okay. So one thing to note is, all right, apparently it seems to be showing that every time when the dollar comes to the near end, there should be some part of recovery, which have happened. But this gap itself is kind of big and now it's pulling back. So let's say Donald Trump find a way and changes and say, no, 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 I can still do it. Then the court ruling or the go back again downwards, right? And then of course the dollar will pull back further, and then gold will likely be recovering. So this one, take note of that, yeah. So we can see that almost every day we have a lot of news coming in from the US side. So like every day they got something to tell us. Okay. All right, let's look at the Dow Jones first this morning. So let's look at Dow Jones. Now the Dow Jones is very clear this morning. We have a upside momentum going on because we stay above OP is always a buy. That is for sure. Okay. Let me just bring in my annotation. Okay, so as long as this morning the market opens, stable OP is a buy, and the first resistance that I mentioned to you was 42,607, which the market now has broke above it already. So the next target it should be going for will be the KCB. The next KCB with 42,771. Okay, so do you think that's possible? I think it's possible. Another 100 plus points, I think by the European market come in, it should be quite a joy for them. So I suspect that the Dow could be testing the 42,771 level. Now, you must understand that currently now this recovery is only based on what reason? Number one is the Europe tariff moved to the 9th of July. Now, second one is the US federal court saying that, Donald Trump, this tariff may not be able to be implemented. So all this recovery is based on very strong positive news in the market, but it got nothing to do with the earnings and stuff like that. So that's why while the surface problem is being resolved, but the undercurrent, the situation, the problem is still ongoing. So this is something that I want you to be very careful. I don't think this is the start of the bull. As a matter of fact, I see it as a double top. I see it as a double top. Okay. Now, of course, again, I can be wrong, but I'm just telling you my personal view. I think that we are seeing a double top instead. All right. So if you want to jump in right now to buy, I think you're a bit late. So maybe just go slow. If you really feel like buying because you don't want to lose a bandwagon, then maybe just go in smaller and then see how it goes from there. Yeah. Okay. All clear? If all clear, press number 1 right now. Okay. All right. Number 2 will be the gold market. Now, I already warned you guys about gold. I think that gold will come down a bit more, and it's really coming in. And the reason I've given to you is the US dollar. I already shared that with you too. Okay, so let's look at the gold price right now. Gold now opening price 32.88, and it broke below the MA30. Oh gosh, and it broke below the MLP. Oh gosh, it broke below the KCR. Oh gosh, it broke below the pivot 2. So everything broken. Pum, 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 pum. So when everything is broken down, obviously the market will sell. This one is very, very normal. Don't need to think about it. Yeah. So the thing is this, I already told you guys that we must see a condition. Now, last few days ago, I told you, right, if the goal is to recover, there must be these two conditions that have to be fulfilled. So the first condition, if you forgot about this, I'll remind you now, is that yes, we must have downtrend. Yeah, we must have downtrend, correct? Yes. Then we must have what? We must have a doji. Yay, a doji. Okay, a doji. Yeah. Now, third, the doji has to be the low must be higher than the low of the doji must be higher than the left bar, which we have that too. So in the last 3 times when the market recovered from here, we all have the conditioning. Here, downtrend, okay. We were supposed to have a doji yesterday, but it didn't formulate and in fact break the low. So that means the holding's over. Yeah. So now that means that you're still on a downward trend. We have not seen that doji yet. We have not seen that the market U-turn from the bottom. We have not seen this yet. So with that, all this thing here, we haven't seen the market bottom yet. Right? We haven't seen it. So why are we looking at that at the moment right now? So that's why be very careful and very specific here as well. The gold price may still continue to trade lower in the near term. All right. So be very, very careful on this. Yeah. Be very, very careful. All right. So where I think that when you go to 32.30 tonight, if it goes there, then maybe we can look at it because KCB is always a good area for you to actually pick up a potential bottom in when it's coming down. Yeah. So watch out for 3230 tonight. Now, will it go there as a confirmation? No one can confirm this, okay? But it's just that if the market do come down, try to take the profit at 3231, okay? 3231, 3232, 3233, doesn't matter. All right, it's quite far away. Put it there. If the market really goes there, why not, right? So now we have Europe can come in at about 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Then the US coming in at about 7 p.m., 8 p.m. So all these two phase will definitely draws a lot of pressure into the market. And if they really believe that the Federal Court can settle Donald Trump this craziness, who knows? The Dow may go up 1,000 points today. You never know. All right, so it's all possible, yeah. But of course, if Donald Trump find another way with his legal team and say and push away this court itself, then wow, then this is gonna be very, very crazy, really. Okay, all right. So all clear. Press number 2 right now. Okay, the next market that we're looking at is Bitcoin. Now, I was looking at Bitcoin to really hit the 112,000 target. I'm looking forward for it to hit. But then there's some pullback at the moment, and I also noticed that the KSI has turned red in color. So therefore, there should be some taking profit soon. It's okay. My target still stays at 112.00 and 112,000. And I think that we need to do is simple. Let's see that. Where's my diamonds? Let's bring a refresh in. Here we go. The diamond is here, right? So we put a line at the closing price. Here we go. Yeah, you can see now we have very, very, very strong support. Okay, very, very strong support on the diamond. So let's take a look. Okay, one is right here, one is here, one is here. So for 3 days of 5, 6 days, the market really take this number 106,800 very seriously. So as long as the market stays above 106,800, I think it's still okay. All right. Now the thing is this, the boy selling now at the moment. If the market do break below OP, there could be some selling, and there's a pivot tool which is on 05. Okay, so very near to my target. So do take note that if the market do pull back itself, right, the market do let us watch out for this. Yeah, 106,800 level. Just watch out for this. Okay, see whether it holds or not. Now, what if the market anyway, anytime close and end with a red candle, then of course selling will resume already. Okay, so watch out for this. Yeah. Okay, the next market is a currency market, which is the one that Iman likes, Canadian dollar, right? Okay, let me find my Canadian dollar. Okay, it's being taken out. Okay, never mind. Canadian dollar, CA major. No, it's minor. Okay, let's see a Singapore dollar. I mean, this Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar has recovered after the dollar strengthened. So you can see that all the way was going down as I shared with you, and there was a diamond. So you put a line across it, and that's what you sell. And when it came down and sell, right, the market has tripped the previous low, which people will cover their position. So now what we have now, we have the market have a blinker here, telling us the market is about to bottom out soon. Put a line across it, and you can see why the market responded by going up yesterday and the day before. So now the thing is this, if the Canadian dollar continue to go up, the first resistance will be 1.3863. That's the MA 30. If the market can cross it convincingly, then I think very simple, we will get to see 1.38970. It's that simple, yeah? Okay, but what if it comes down? Very simple. If it breaks below the OP, then it will be driving below 13826, right? Then the thing is that there were a few KCP to watch out for already. Okay, so when that actually happened, then you can let us know. At the moment now, I don't think there's a chance for the market to come down first at the moment. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that is the Canadian dollar for all of us. And I want to show you the Singapore dollar. Yes, Singapore dollar. We can actually do that for Singapore dollar too. You just hang on a little. Okay, the data is coming up because we hardly talk about Singapore dollar, so the data coming in a bit slow. Yeah. Now, these few days are really under the weather. Been drinking a lot of water and trying to recover. Okay, hold on. The Sing dollar, where the Sing dollar goes to. Okay, wait. Oh, interesting. Here we go. Okay, here is a Sing dollar. And you can see that Sing dollar basically went down. I mean, they appreciated from from the high of 1.3 all the way went down to the last few days, 1.28. Now, I did say to a lot of people say that 1.28 is a very magical level that the market must watch for Singapore dollar. Usually, Singapore dollar at 1.28 will stop for a while, and truth be told, it really stopped. Yeah, now it's 1.29. But the thing is this, we have an issue here. The price although went up, right? But the moving average, I mean the KSI didn't go up. So if that is a case itself, if the dollar do pull back, there is a chance that it may go back to the same bank at a different rate altogether. So traders need to think about this. If you are watching the currency market, this is a good try because we have seen before when the market goes up, when the KSI turns red, it will always go back to the same level. Yeah, it's always like that. Yeah. Okay, so that will be all. But before that, let's do crude oil. Crude oil yesterday recovered already. Crude oil yesterday went up to $62. It was below $61, but then now the crude oil is going up. But interestingly, is that the dollar is also increasing at the same time. So by default itself, a stronger dollar should not be able to bring up crude oil, right? Because oil is US dollar denominated. So now the crude oil is going up by itself, and now it's almost $63 already. Remember, those who buy with me, we're talking about 62, 62.50 and stuff like that. So if you look at this with the diamonds, you can see right now we don't have much diamonds here. So we still use the last one, which is telling me that this is the one. Yeah. So you can see that this is the closing price of the candle of the one diamond. And you can see very, very, very clear. Let me be very sure. Okay, right. You can be very sure that you can see the market just couldn't go up, couldn't go up. So if it breaks through, woohoo, well, then we're going to see a big, big number, 66.66, remember? So the number that we must break through will be 63.50. As long as the market can break past 63.50 and stay above it, I think that the 66.66 chance of reaching is very, very high already. Okay. All right, guys. So that will be all for this morning session for the market talk. We will take a short break and come back for the revision. Yeah. Thank you very much.